It's 5K, 6K.
All text.
Achilles death.
Poured away on
Printed.
that was thrown into a popular stuff. What's his name? Benjamin Franklin. It's like having to study rope or like sexual self-help. Like, oh, leave a turtle under your pillow at night. Those kind of things.
Yes, and then you're exporting it, but now it's already been modified.
I should have been cooking.
Oh, no, it's already there. I got you.
Now we're on the secret sex life. So now
There was a reason, so Philadelphia was the capital of the United States.
Right.
Yeah, or and the Union, I guess, no, by then Washington DC was the capital, but that's Civil War.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Early on it was, and they were like, well, we have this new city, DC that we're building, we want to move it there, and all the senators and all because there were not the same young women in DC as there were in Philadelphia. Women in general. The senators haven't really changed that much. 200, 350 years, 450 years, 300. 350 years. I'm gonna. Yes. No, I'm not in trouble at all. I'm in trouble. And then by extension, you guys are going to get it.
By extension.
What is that?
You're going to get the brunt of it.
Kids are just walking punching bags.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the case.
Because you walk out in front of
Yeah. When I point to connection here, it's already got that in memory. This
They're supposed to be.
That's how you see it.
Yeah.
Ah, sweet. Yeah, they have to get that colony from one colony to the other somehow.
Yeah.
Dip a cube in there and just put it, boom.
Yeah, that's where they get the yeast from.
Seed a new whole colony.
While there's corruption, predators do a whole cycle. We went all the way back to
It's probably when you're here.
No,
I think when you go back there, I want to
it's kind of curly though, man.
I need to stop shaving while I'm drinking kombucha.
denim. Huge medallion. Let that
That's pretty curly, man.
All right. Like I said, it's gonna suck tonight, guys. My preemptive apologies.
No, it's not like that, Chris. You know you apologize. That's not me.
That's rare. Well, because I'm never wrong. But, I mean, yeah, it's rare.
Shower beer.
I know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Hurry, you have 2 minutes.
Come on.
Come on, internet.
Come on, internet. Don't break my streak.
I really heard
Yeah, exactly.
then I can blame the shittiness of their class on something else.
Is it really gonna be that bad?
It's gonna be terrible. It's gonna be awful.
Oh yeah.
I don't even. I know what we're learning, but I'm gonna suck at teaching.
What was that?
What's that? It's on the tail end of this class.
But we're not gonna get there.
So we're just gonna have to
I'm just assuming we're not good.
wait for the log of sadness. We're gonna lose our voice.
It's weird. They have the.
Hard tax.
It's a really short little thing on the equation. It's not even really that much. It's like a 25-minute block out of the entire test.
Every go to market on Wednesday or is it like such a minor thing?
Because it's a lot of boilerplate code, you're just gonna have the library and stuff like that. Typically, you don't really have to like go deep and develop it. Unless you're like trying to create some sort of personal system of authentication.
We have to add extra crap.
Yeah, but it's not even then it's not going to be that bad. You can set a token pretty easily. Like in Django or Python, it was like one line set a token. Cross-site CSRF. Cross-site forgery request.
Nice.
Security. It's important, especially if you operate in a legal enterprise. Just saying. Just saying. And everyone's watching TV, getting inspired. Want to start your own criminal organization?
That's like when it's
Don't make it a biker gang.
like actually bad for the roadway.
What color crime? This is the way to go. Wire fraud.
I really like that we're keeping that Liam Neeson on
Oh, yeah.
the stuff these days.
Which one? There's stuff up there that I am not even aware of. Okay, well, let's get this started. All right, so tonight what we're going to do is we're going to, oops, I put the wrong name on here. Well, that's okay. These cute little lesson names aren't that important to you guys, right?
I'm not kind of a fan of that anymore.
Okay, well, it should be the sequel to MySQL this time, not Sequelized. I don't know how much I can't emphasize today. Okay, so what we're going to be doing today is we're going to introduce this Sequelized ORM. So some of you are already clever enough to ask the question, hey, person who told me that copying and pasting is a good thing. Can't I just copy and paste an ORM? Can't I download a library, something to make this easier? Well, good news, everyone. There is a library. It's a good news, bad news thing. As I think there's a place in this lesson plan where they even say it. It says, use a complex system to simplify something. Oh, well, that's nice. Sounds like the beginning of a manual on operating a nuclear submarine or something like that. This is a simple guide to something complex. That's when you know to shoot yourself in the face. Okay, not inside the sub though, unless you want to take it out. All right, so anyways, today's objectives. Oh, by the way, this is going to be tough today. I may have already got some of you ready for this, but this class is going to be one of the more difficult classes. So let's all just help each other out. That's what we're going to do. We're going to get through this together. So I'm going to be very careful not to go too in depth on this stuff. Just like some of the other things that we've been using recently, there's a lot of boilerplate code involved, and so some of it is stuff that we don't necessarily have to 100% understand what's going on, at least today. But we need to learn how to be able to at least set this stuff up. So the objectives for today is to introduce Sequelize as a complex tool that simplifies MySQL. Love that. Demonstrate another objective is to demonstrate the makeup of a Sequelized directory, how to make one, and how to make queries using Sequelize. Then we're going to show you guys how to use the JAWS DB to work with data in the cloud. Ooh. And lastly, we're going to briefly introduce the concept of JSON Web Tokens and how students can use this secure system for exchanging data between a site and a user. All right, well, welcome back, everybody. As I've said, tonight's class, it promises to suck. And it's not your fault, it's my fault, okay? Just like all my exes said to me. I feel like there's a pattern there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to just start by looking at this truly annoying PDF here. And it looks something like this for whatever reason. Oh my God, where? No, stop that. Okay, come on. There you go. Okay, so we have this PDF here, okay? So in this diagram, we see a MVC in action. Okay, so this contains all the files that would make up our MVC. Now the only thing is here is that we have not defined which pieces of this diagram are the model, which pieces are the view, which pieces are the controller. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with Michael DeSantis. Can you identify for me which part of this stuff up here is the view?
That would be the browser, I believe.
Well, the browser is not technically the view. The browser is really just the environment, the client itself. So the files that make up the view. Those are, it shows the browser there, I think, to say that these things are inside the browser.
Yes.
HTML.
I wasn't even afraid this. I assume those are the only three options.
So the three things under browser, right,
Yes.
are part of the view? Okay.
All three of those.
Anything else?
Make up the view.
Anything else that would make up the view?
Fragmented files that haven't been generated yet, that wouldn't be displayed on the front end.
It's a very clever answer because that's always correct. But also, something that doesn't exist yet. Exactly. You win. No, that's a good answer. I mean,
If we're generating stuff off templates and someone simply never runs a piece of code to execute said file, there becomes no need for us to have, for example, a custom 404 web page, so it doesn't exist yet.
okay, cool. Good answer.
Unless that wasn't the answer you were looking for.
It's not 100% the answer I was looking for now. But also, technically, this file over here that says, or this little block that says HTML routes, that would also be part of our view. Okay.
That makes sense. It controls the view.
Exactly. Now, do you agree with that back there, gifted people, gifted and talented row? I called them the gifted and talented row.
Oh, one's on the phone, give the thumbs up.
Yeah, it's totally smoking a joint back there. Got more excited answers out of the Fryolator people. Okay, so, but I feel the same way. So, welcome to the club. All right, so, sir, Ruben, would you like to show me which files up here would be considered the controllers?
Controller.
Yes, the C part of our MVC.
Wouldn't that be the API route?
That's one thing. There's one more piece.
And then API routes, and then
It's kind of a trick question because there's a piece that kind of lives in between the model and the controller. Yeah, the Orem.
Okay.
He's from a little town called Orem in Utah. They have a beautiful recreational center there.
That's
about it.
What is it about old school recreational places where there's just people just spending all their time naked? I don't understand. And people who really shouldn't. Anyways, I'll get back in. Okay. So as I already said, one of these pieces is kind of half considered part of the model, half considered part of the controller. Apexa, can you tell me what other files would be considered part of the model, the data portion of our application?
API routes?
The API routes is actually part of the controller because it's doing the controlling. It's grabbing stuff from the model and sending it to the view, controlling. What part is actually generating or controlling or holding that data and responsible for the data portion?
Get and post requests.
No.
So I'm not understanding.
Database is one of our main parts of our model. And then the piece that facilitates the data connection is also considered part of our model. And then, as I said before, the ORM would also kind of be considered quasi-model area as well, because it does control some of the function of the data itself, the model. Okay? So just a little review. So just to recap on this diagram, the model represents the application core, our database, and it's hooked to our backend. The view displays the data, our HTML routes and public files, and the controller handles the input to our database, such as accepting input from the view and sending it to the model, taking a response from the model and sending it back to the view. Okay, so if we take a look at this directory, just to beat a dead horse here, and we go to 15.
Yeah.
But it feels good. And we go into, not that one, damn it. This is the Jaws DB. Okay, so taking a look at this directory.
Well, there's that thunder.
What's going right?
That black sky that I saw.
Can't wait for this.
Just wait till you get nothing stands up.
So in this directory, if we go into the app here, and we look at which, we can see that these files, these pages displayed, are part of the view right here. Okay, so we have actual view.html. And there's our HTML file, right? Also in this, when we enter data and submit it, the MVZ connects the input to our database and changes the way the view looks. And that's done by the controller. We have HTML routes right here. Okay, some HTML routes. Very similar to the ones we've done before. But where's the data stored? Well, the data stored in the model. Some people call it a database. That's correct. But it is also, in this case, the MVC, the model. Are you trying to read that?
Yeah, the blue is like impossible.
Maybe. I have no idea what it is. I like the blue.
I feel like something's wrong with the picture. It's like off color.
It is definitely off color.
We go all lights off tonight.
Oh, man.
Do it!
I can't feel it.
Why?
So we're gonna have to call it a night.
I may have to turn off the Stevie Wonder.
I think I need
I'll go through there.
a beer.
If you were back in '90.
I was so close.
Did it look right at all while I was doing that?
Yeah.
Looking bunny ears right now.
So after
All right, well, that's gonna suck. Further proof that I was very correct in my estimation of tonight. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like a curse.
it was James.
All right. So now what we're going to do is we are going to take a look at this site. So let's go back to this. You feel what?
McCoy up there.
A couple years behind you, 33.
Because we're 17. Yeah. Happy birthday.
You and that TM on the
Oh man.
Yeah, really cool.
big head.
Let me see if I can get these things.
Sounds like yeah, I mean, I don't know. Jackie John, James Angry. Yeah, we need matching bags. It's a white thing. This is the second time Heaven's Gate has come up.
This one connect. Is there a connection down here?
Or is it just a cable that goes all the way back here? Okay.
I
mean, I tried tightening that and it seemed like it was changing.
Oh no, man. If you're gonna do it, like you need to look fresh.
Right. Roll that. Fresh to death.
You mean like the super puppy? Like
I'm talking about what was that suit, man? You seen the movie?
no, I think you're talking about like the shit John Rule used to wear. That's a puppy coat.
Not the town, not the triple fat goose. You remember so? Triple fat.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, you guys never got cold down there.
People still
You
work.
wouldn't.
People still work hard. It's fucking retarded.
Swag knows no temperature.
Not only that, but it was like an open Raiders jacket.
I was allowed to say that. Yo, I had a Raiders jacket back when they were still like.
No, people got like shot and stabbed in my neighborhood over starter jackets, even though it was like 150 degrees outside.
Oh, those big puffy started.
Yeah.
I had a Miami Hurricane one for some unknown reason.
Chicago Bulls.
I just
recently
rewatched it down there.
I don't think so. No, I think they fired the coach like 2 years ago. Like, the coach still exists.
Wow.
That's how much I don't follow.
Right.
I'm sure they still smart.
That actually looks a little better right there.
Oh crap.
That may just be my connection.
Warming up for failure.
That's where
There we go.
Oh yeah.
What if, dare I say, you switch to, you inverted from the black background?
Isn't that like just a shit?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think so, yeah. It's part of the funny of anything that's like pretty.
Is that better?
Oh god. That's like physically bad. What's distraction free mode?
Distraction free mode?
Yeah, it's under view. It's got potential.
Everything has potential right now.
Nope. Nope. Not that one. He's got it. Listen to it. It's hilarious. It's good. Your color scheme. Leave the color scheme.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a bar in there that has projecting.
Is that better?
Yeah, like it's readable.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ugly, but.
Is that okay?
That's
Is that better?
Can't
I feel like I have to. No, they're all going to change. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so does everybody remember the Star Wars DB application? Okay, so what we're looking at here is actually the same thing. Well, not this. Close that. Go away. What we're looking at here is actually the same project, except it's using something a little different to handle its connection. So if we go to the connection.js, and that's under config and connection.js, and we take a look at this file. Damn it. Wrong screen, don't you? Okay, if we take a look at this file, what we'll see here is that it looks very similar to our connection database file that we had before, except we noticed that there's two entries. Okay, so there's a local host. That's the one that we had already. And then there's this other one called JAWSDB. Okay, and what do we notice about JAWSDB? What does it look like it is? Let's word grab this. What's that?
It's not local.
It's not local. That's right. Exactly.
Posted on Amazon.
Exactly. That's the big difference. It's pointing to this AWS server, right? And you recognize this is an Amazon server. Okay. All right, so this is a fairly big difference because we're actually using a non-local database to support the same application that we've already built using a local database. We store both the old and the new connection within this object, within this source object, and then simply choose the connection we wanted when we connected it to our MySQL package, okay? In that source.jawsdb right here, okay? So then what it does is it allows us to choose a connection out of several possible connections because they're all within this this source object, right? So we could say source.localhost and change that out, and then now the application would use the localhost connection instead of the cloud one. Okay. What is JAWSDB? Well, good question. Let's all Google it. JAWSDB. JAWSDB. No, I'm serious. I don't know what it is. No. All right, so JAWSDB. It is a Heroku add-on. That's right. It is a free remote database that we can use for small projects. For real world, there is a paid tier, but for these classroom projects that we're doing, and man, leave me alone.
So melodious over there.
It's just email after email coming in. Oh my God, go home. All right, muted. All right. Where was I? Yes. And so probably even for like your final project or something like that, or the group projects that are still on the horizon, they're coming up really soon. You could probably use the free version and get away with that fine. You're probably not going to build something in this class that requires the paid version. So good news there, right? Where is it coming from? Well, as it says here on this site, it is part of the Heroku deploy, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to slack out this kind of skeleton starting project, 2-Star Wars Express _ Jaws DB, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to receive this file, and then what I want you to do is to create a GitHub repo for it, okay? So that we can do, what do you think we're going to do after that?
Fork it.
Anybody else?
We're going to deploy it.
Two.
Heroku.
Thank you. I'm deploy wherever I goddamn please.
Yeah. Right.
All right. Okay, cool. Well, let's see. Let's do this. Let's do this all together. So let's all get this file and just open it up and unzip it and do the first step of creating a repo out of it. Okay. So I will do that as well.
Something like it's slacked out.
Something is getting slacked out. Yes.
Should be the Monday, Wednesday instructions.
Should be.
It's not.
Oh, okay.
I don't like the.
Dope around back there.
So what's it like talking to people at your place who tell you
So good.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh my god, I can't really answer this. I thought it was fun. You get talented.
The more important thing is the Lord over them with your knowledge.
Well, there is
That's
always
the real
that.
point, isn't it?
They're just a little dumber, a little less good looking.
A little.
They smell more.
Better or worse?
Both.
More potent.
We call them Star Jaws.
Wow.
So the movie waiting to happen.
No,
Star Jaws.
Because this is.
Speak up on it.
We should save that for the next one.
Because he moves as fast as possible.
Yeah. That's fire. Sure, if you move that fast.
What am I supposed to be doing?
Initialize. Go.
Spelling.
Star Jaws.
Oh, it's I need to,
Actually, not a bad name. Can I take that?
Feel free. That's what I'm using, so I think you should always copy what I do, except when I don't do it right. All right, so let's clone this bad boy. Says I'm a dog, but it takes one to know one.
call it Den Jaws.
Yeah.
Jokes.
Star Jaws.
Then we put everything in that zip file and see that repository.
Yeah, and then push it back up. Exactly. Eggs, Zachary.
Exactly.
Yeah, egg-Zachary disease.
So it's the new. Oh, okay.
Have you ever heard of egg-Zachary disease? It's when your face looks egg-Zachary right your ass.
Oh, yeah, that one loaded the chamber.
Too damn long. Middle school, probably. It's right there next to Voodoo Dick.
Good one. That one sounds more important.
Yeah, I'm not falling for that one. You made it this far in life and not heard that joke. There's something wrong with you. clearly you're a plant by the Soviet Union or something.
Right now,
Mm-mm-mm. Hearing lots of profanity, lots of why didn't that work the way it's supposed to?
Does that mean we're on the right track?
Yes, well, that's exactly how today is going to go.
Oh.
Okay, so okay, so does everybody remember how to push something to Heroku?
Yes.
Yeah, if you're finished creating the repo and getting it cloned and pushing everything back up, then go ahead and deploy to Heroku as well.
Erase something from Heroku.
Give them my credit card. And I have like 7 things like that. Right. Yeah.
And it has a charge too?
I haven't got any charges yet. Yeah.
No, it will demand a credit card at some point today for you. So if you haven't done that yet, you're gonna have to do it at some point.
Pass.
Why
Yeah,
do it?
you get past.
All these has a credit card that everyone can borrow. Jim has no want. All fanny pack all the time. Carry a small revolver in it.
Very special.
No, I guess we need to include actually Jason.
Even smaller. 22 rat shot.
Wow.
Coyotes hate it.
Over that, Jason.
It doesn't kill them, but it scars their face real good.
Bring some personal.
I had another.
So are the initial files of your set supposed to push up to Heroku successfully?
Are they supposed to?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
is it
hopefully.
supposed to fail, so they have to do something?
Hopefully not. Let me just, I'm on all
Yeah,
that stuff
I
right
still
now.
had mine in the folder.
Oh, you mean like it's gonna be
Unsolved.
Yeah, right, you have to take it out.
What?
That's where you put public.
If you're running into issues, go ahead and raise your hand up. The TAs are here to help. The lovely and talented TAs back there.
Does anyone else have commits that just say for real though, once you fail to do the thing in the previous commit?
That's something you set up.
So creating a repo and just copying that file onto that.
Yeah, go ahead, create a repo, clone the repo down to your drive, get it set up, then put those files in it, and then send those files back up to GitHub. And then once you're done with that, then go ahead and deploy that also to Heroku. So I'm at the point where I'm just adding my stuff back to the repo. Dash A. It doesn't like, swappy, swap, swap, swap.
First I didn't have
Yeah.
the folder and then I
Commit.
committed it.
Dash
So-
11.
But no, yeah, okay.
Hit push.
That's pretty fresh. Yeah, I'm on the peaceful garden lifestyle.
What is your Heroku?
Yeah, what's your
I
Heroku?
messed up something.
Ideas come alive, I think.
No,
Oh, I never realized
the
that.
little auto-generated. I'll use that one. Regular leave shit.
Whenever you create, it creates you a random name.
Oh, bottomless fathom.
Ah,
That's sick.
I got Murmuring Mason.
Murmuring Mason?
That doesn't make any sense.
Mesa. Like
Mesa. Okay, yeah. That's Mason. That's a little weird.
Speaking geographic formation at that point. Like, it makes us get out murmuring.
Maybe it was a bottomless atoll.
Living Oasis.
I think it might have been bottomless atoll.
That also doesn't make much sense.
No,
Oh, it does, yeah, it does make sense, yeah.
This might Like
Yes. No PHP. This is Node now, so it's going to recognize that it's Node. It's going to set up a Node server for you.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. There's no PHP for this. No PHP. Oh boy.
You said we were not supposed to get an error. That was not the point of this.
Did you move out of the?
Hopefully you did not get an error. Yes.
Probably just the back.
Done it before.
If you are getting an error, go ahead and raise your hand. One of these TAs is going to come over there and save you. Huh? I don't know who Remy Zero is. I only know Remy Martin.
What about Remy Bob?
No, Remy Boys.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you can keep going.
Really?
Sazerac. Sazerac.
You gotta like.
I have like zero ability to concentrate. And I don't.
So I'm in day one.
All right, so
So now I go redirect this into here.
Or I took everything out of unsolved and just.
What? Oh, did you commit already?
ooh, I like the name on this one, Salty Dusk.
I did the exact same thing.
You know,
So
you know what's going on there. The Salty Dusk. Sources, promoting stuff. Oh, I did some things. Compressing. Look at me, I'm fancy.
So
She said, "Here's my one chance. Fancy, don't let me down."
fast meadow. So
Flow Rider. I'm guessing. No. Keshaman. Oh, she's just
yeah, I was
just
just thinking.
defense. Oh yeah. Ever since the whole like I'm being sexually abused
Oh,
by
okay.
my
See, I didn't get the
thing,
note.
and then
I guess because I didn't move before. Yeah, so it looks like it's.
oh my god, my son likes that shirt name. Have you seen that?
So have you gone to Heroku and opened it?
We don't have anything in here.
All right, so if you've gotten it deployed to GitHub and you've gotten it deployed to Heroku, next thing to do is open up the Heroku site and find your project. Let's find the Salty Dusk.
Wait, is everyone getting errors right now?
I'm when I opened Heroku, I just
I'm not.
Opening in Heroku though?
Yeah.
So the thing is, there's a line that's commented out in the connection.js file. We're gonna need to enter information in there, I think. I think everyone's probably gonna get errors on Heroku. If they haven't yet.
What error are they getting?
It's missing a closing parentheses because its comments extend into the parentheses.
Is it throwing error when it's building the server?
It doesn't throw error when it's building it, just when you pull up the Heroku app, it's saying it.
Add your own JAWS.
Oh yeah, it's line 25.
It's line 25 in
Yeah.
connection.js. We're gonna have to add something in there.
With line 19.
Yes, I'll just get something in the object.
Oh, to do add your.
Well, then
JAWS.
the one it's the other one's functioning. I ran the other one, the solution. Just what is the
That
difference?
should work locally.
It's inside the server JS?
Because locally, it's going to do the dev environment. So only if you try and do it.
No, that I got the other one running. I thought, but
Was it running on Heroku or locally?
I believe it was running.
So you know how you had your source had the two objects. Our JAWS DB object is blank. There's nothing in there.
Yeah, because you haven't set up JAWS DB yet.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Hey, is it just because the JAWS DB isn't set up yet? We haven't set up the database yet. So that
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
okay, yeah, we're getting to that. Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, it was supposed to fail for now. Okay.
I think so. There's no database. I mean, The connection string would be,
I wasn't sure if we want to do that.
you're not going to know your connection details until you actually set up the database. So yeah, there shouldn't be anything in that connection JS yet. Okay. All right, cool. Now we're all on the same page now.
I mean,
Yeah, so you're gonna have to start.
I can't. Okay. So if we go to Heroku, let's go to Heroku and let's take a look and find our new project that we have here. So back to Heroku home. And this site sucks. This site pisses me off so much. Where's the login?
That's the pure.
Just take me to the damn login screen. Okay. So I created an app on here just now. It's called Salty Dusk. And there's my Salty Dusk right there. And so if I go into this actual project and I go to resources, so let's all do this, go to resources, okay? And then under resources, there's this little search thing for add-ons. So let's type JAWS, and if you start to type it out, you'll see that there's a JAWS DB MySQL. So go ahead and click that search result. And it's gonna say, hey, do you want to add this extension to your install, your app that you just created? They call that provisioning. So let's go ahead and click provision. And note that it is the kite fin shark. Does anyone know what a kite fin shark looks like? Yeah, you're gonna have to enter credit card information at this point. What?
Yeah,
I went to add-ons, the search right here, and I started to type JAWS DB, and then click that one that says JAWS DB MySQL. Just click on it, and it'll bring up the thing asking if you want to go ahead and add it to your project.
This thing looks like a killer. That's all sharks.
Yeah, it has a lot of sharks.
No, this kite fin shark.
Oh, it's stupid looking, huh?
I know.
It doesn't even look like a shark. Like that's what they want you to do. They go, oh, the free one's called kite fin, and then you go and you look at a kite fin shark, and you're like, I'm no fucking kite fin shark, man. I'm like a mako or a great white or a bull shark or something. So then you pay just because of ego stuff, because Shark Week just ended.
Kind of a derpy shark.
Yeah.
I live every day like a shark.
Yeah, right.
I live every day like a shark.
Oh.
Are sharks nice to their spouses? Their shark spouses? Now the Titus Licha.
Take my credit card number.
Okay, take it. You want to come type it up here?
Yeah.
It doesn't even obscure your credit card number while you're typing it either.
I can't use this.
Oh, come on. Are they going to take your whole $50 out of your bank account? Come on.
I mean, that goes towards
Okay, so we have this JAWS DB now added. If I click on the actual install, it'll take me to this kind of user-friendly screen here. Okay, so everyone do this right now.
Wait, where was that?
I just clicked on the actual, I'm in resources, on the resources tab here, and I just click, after it's provisioned, you can click on it, and it's going to bring up the settings for Salty Dusk, or whoever you are.
Post.
Yeah.
Username, password. Yeah. Okay.
Huh?
That password again.
What about that password?
It's in bomb.
Nice.
Nice.
I didn't notice that until you asked me, but it's still true.
It's actually zero. That's right, max storage.
Anti-futuristic shit, man.
Do you feel powerful? You're a hammerhead out.
Damn near $900.
Okay, so check out the connection string first. Let's take a look at this connection string. If you look at the string and then you look at the details below it, what do you notice about this connection string? I know it's like super tiny. Here, let me zoom in.
Yeah, I see it. I think I see it.
You see a pattern here?
Yes, in the URL, you have the username and password.
Straight up in there.
It's just in there. Yeah. So it goes it goes username, password, server name, and then it has port, / some other stuff, okay? So you can actually extrapolate the details that you need for your connection.js from this file, or they're broken apart for you just below. So your host is actually the server that you're going to be pointing it at, and your username is your username. And shocking, yes, your password is your password, okay?
All right.
They say the most common passwords used to be sex and God.
Or
Yeah, I saw that in Hackers.
Where's-
Huh?
46.
Pretty sex. To each their own. Okay, so go ahead and take these connection details now and bring them over and put them into your connection.js, okay?
Should we also change our database name? It's still Star Wars.
You're going to change your database to this last part of the string there. Do you see what I'm talking about?
The after the
After the port and the slash is the database name. Okay,
That was the last piece of the puzzle.
that was the last piece of the puzzle.
So then, now in line 30, we want to say create connection, and we want to just choose JAWS DB, right?
Yes. So you've replaced the details of your connection.js. Now let's all open up MySQL Workbench, okay? MySQL Workbench.
Oh, this.
All right, so let's all get to the home screen of our database server or MySQL Workbench. It's not the server, but the MySQL Workbench. And what we can do is we can actually add this remote connection into our database workbench, all right? So if we say plus to add a new connection, we can give it a fun connection name, JAWS. And it is a standard TCP IP, but the URL is anything but standard. Let's take a look at it again. Same URL that we had here. So from the host, make sure you don't get any of that trailing white space. That'll kill you. Okay, so I'm gonna put that into host name, and the port is 3306, so I don't have to change that. Change my username. Store password in the vault. Okay. Leave that default schema blank. Test the connection. Boom! A successful MySQL connection has been made. Sweetness.
Can you go to your code real fast? Just to make sure.
My code?
Yeah, the connection.js.
Sure. Hang on one second, sir. And I will show you my connection.js stuffies.
Yeah, I don't know what communicates better.
Okay.
Did you need to change the database? Oh, wait. So you keep Star Wars up there?
I don't mind having more than one potential database connection. I'm creating an object that has multiple database connections in it. All I have to do is change the string below, right here, where it actually says connection. If I put source.localhost, then my app's going to start working on the localhost database again. If I put source.jaws.db, then it's going to work on the JAWS DB one.
I don't think it'd be close to something.
Yeah, if you paste it directly in, you're gonna have to format it a little bit. So what you did was actually a good idea, right? You went to your old connection one from when we were using the ORM, and you tried to copy that over. Good idea, but it needs a little bit of formatting. I thought you were saying you were getting the red.
Oh, no. I'm sorry, like in the JAWS DB, those DB streams.
Single double quotes.
Single doubles?
Mixing quotes, yeah.
Son of a.
Yeah,
that's terrible. Okay.
I did exactly as I just restored my.
All right, so once we have made that database connection, then we can open it up in the workbench, and we're connected. So now what we can do is we can actually take the schema stuff that we see within the directory that we gave you, the starting skeleton directory for this project, and we can go ahead and create the database here inside Workbench, and it's actually going to create that database on the cloud for us.
I was still trying to set up the connection.
So I'm going to say it one more time. It's going to make the database in the clouds.
What's going to make it?
Okay, do we still need to use the create database and use database tags inside of this when the database is already connected, or should we just skip that part of the schema?
You're going to create the database. You're connected to a database server, but there's no database actually on it. So you're not actually connected to a database yet.
Okay, I was just wondering because it's still also named Star Wars, so.
Really kind of obsessed with this Star Wars.
It's copy paste another thing. If you name it in one area, you have to rename them all.
Open my script. And then from the directory, wherever it is, you can select the schema script.
So every time
You can also
I would
do
get a pizza for like one slice, like facing the wrong
I don't know
way.
why
You know something really simple like that? Okay. All right, so here's all this stuff. I'm going to take this stuff and I'm going to run it in my fancy pants Star Jaws query window. Go Star Jaws!
If you're in that database, using that database, then you just run that. Oh, look, this is it right here. MySQL dash u dash.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah, then it gets all those. Access denied for user.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to see what.
Did you get access denied for user? Yeah.
All right, we're done. Next slide.
So the only thing I'm having issues right now is
What is it? Oh,
okay, so push now.
Oh, it's hard code.
So since I didn't make any changes in the connection. Yeah. I mean, it was just right. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Cheese Star Wars.
Yeah.
Oh, you can do that.
Star
As hours of doing it. It's amazing.
Because I don't think you can actually choose that. Oh yeah, you just gotta match your connection. Yeah. Alright, so we don't have any CIDs. So it should,
Maybe there's extra space.
Oh, I ran this before with my
Yeah, I
other
was expecting
database
to-
properties, but this one's not accepted for some reason.
You getting
I ran it
1064?
the schema file and the unsolved.
The formatting is wrong on this one. I ran it once before.
There, bro, you're not-
It works, so I'm surprised it's still here. Ran it with a different JAWS database.
Each other questions.
Yeah, that's fair.
Did we say create create data?
Access denied for user.
It's hitting that line. It's not hitting that.
Yeah, use the database with access to data. I think that worked.
Sorry, learn how. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Let's not talk about it. We might have to format it.
Error codes.
Yeah. And that's a good point.
Even like read our vote now.
The previous ones we've done haven't used it.
No, my
Yeah, Jim, as a schema, I noticed in the create statement, the Star Wars is in quotes, and I don't think
It's actually not in quotes, it's in like.
well, I took it out of this. I took it out of the angle quotes and just put it in regular quotes. That still works. I just took it out of that completely. But now I'm back to getting access denied.
I'm getting access to that too, so I'm trying to figure out.
So you getting like a sentence like the first line?
Access denied for users.
Also, we don't need.
But now I'm back to getting access to that. And then use jobs for user. Yeah.
Mine was working earlier. I don't know why it's not working now.
Hey Jim, where'd you get that database for the JAWS.db? Is that part of that database, the name of the database there? Where'd you get that one?
So when you click on the JAWS DB under resources right here in the actual Heroku area under resources, if you click this, it's going to take you to a screen that looks like this right here.
Yeah.
This is going to be the connection details for the JAWS DB.
Where's the database name?
Database name is actually this very last piece right here.
Oh, okay, cool.
So let me just make sure I'm using the right. Asking me what database it is.
Unless all.
As long as you know it. I gotta tell you.
There's not a lot of it.
There's no one.
Hey, I made a connection. Fine.
To investigate the cupcake.
I would love a cupcake. Is it something to do with the fact that you're logged in as root user, but we're trying to access it from a different user?
We're just working in the workbench, so it doesn't matter any of the other stuff. This is just making sure that these details match what's in workbench. So if you have those two things, it should work.
Sweet.
Or it already gives you the database.
That's awesome.
Instead of
Really?
What's that?
Oh,
You're a genius. It was better for the database.
So when you say you use actually
I think we have to use this. This is our cloud database.
Yeah, but my
Are you serious?
Investigate?
No, I mean that's.
But what I put,
Yeah.
In your credit card.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for
Oh, for real.
I'm not actually.
Yeah, I got around that, so we did actually, we really have to set our views as a database that was set. And that's what I was asking.
And also, I am using.
Because this right now, we're working on, he just ran how much is it?
Cupcake people brought the cookies. I ran into this the first time when I was at home. I just had cupcakes.
Oh,
I mean, they clearly wrote it like you could too. They just said just use Star Wars or create Star. They created it and then use it. So you're not creating a database at all. You're just using the existing one.
Well, I haven't run it yet.
Is it even possible to create a new one? Like
I
right
should be able to, yeah. I did earlier. Like if I go back to this one, I have this other one here. No, I was creating a database. So if I go to my other one that I created, like if I go back to home, like I was working through the stuff earlier, and I have the database here. Same type of thing.
So still within Heroku itself, it will push out the.
Save all the same things, except instead of using 4.306,
Oh,
whenever you're actually setting up the connection on your SQL.
But I'm not really setting a port here.
So you're not there, but whenever you create
go to the home.
Use that database.
We're supposed to do that and then just push.
I guess they just didn't update the schema stuff and expected us to just know it. So.
I just used, yeah, when it scrolls up.
All right, so looks like in order to make this work, we're going to have to change the schema a little bit.
Yeah, so I have that. It's the last part of it. So like where it says Amazon.com 33.
So it's going to be something like this, and then we go back to our. So originally I'm saying use Star Wars, create and then use Star Wars. So now I'm going to say I'm going to remove the create term. And I'm going to say use. And I'm going to copy this name of the database that it created for me, which is at the end of the slash here.
Okay.
And then I'm going to say use. I'm going to put that in the first of that.
Ultimately, we're just gonna have one database now.
Oh, you're deleting, okay, yeah, the create statement altogether.
Yeah, I am, but.
No, I mean,
I just ran it and it runs. It's because everything's in box. All the IDs.
They're not even
So take it to create.
Yep.
Oh.
But get rid of those and that should run just. Who did this? Who did this?
And now, we're just run the whole thing.
Forgot that. Actually, I've been adding like a create if it doesn't exist thing, and then
Okay, so you're gonna have to do a few different things.
So that
This was all kinds of jacked up. At least I knew that sinking feeling in my stomach while I was driving here was.
I'm still even working for those ones. Did you copy the password on it, Jim?
What I'm thinking right now, just right now is still. It's kind of cool. Yeah. So I did do NPM install. Yeah, just the NPM. I didn't do it.
There's like an easy way to like mark
It's not showing.
rotate so that it's like this one's blah 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 game or something like that.
Yes.
So I made this site like
So
like none of these things.
let's say, yeah, like cryptic based. Right.
So let's go watch. I don't think we got pictures.
No, we're trivia game. Okay. So I'm gonna bring it into like trivia game or sci-fi trivia down the road, right? So the way you do that is from the command line, you can say Roku has this.
There's a transform problem.
And then you want the new name.
Oh, the file that you're reading, and then the one that you're reading.
And then
So this would be like your desert winds, whatever, and then Seinfeld's app.
no, look, new name -- Apple. Yeah, so I think, so for example, let's see.
Yeah. So if it's got a, I mean, it should be the same.
Okay, so did everybody get their SQL to run? I finally got mine to run, but I had to edit it heavily. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and send out what we need to do here. So you kind of probably can't see, it's pretty small on the screen, but if I zoom in, you see that I've actually gone ahead and removed the create database statement, okay? Looks like JAWS is not going to allow us to create new databases in here.
So we got to use our database.
So we have to use our database. And so you find that by taking a look at your configuration connection info screen, right? It's that last string, last part of the connection string. Okay.
So if it worked, using the database work,
So then there's some other editing I had to do to the schema thing. So let me go over that real quick. See if that would be perfect. So then if you notice, I also had to remove all those annoying ticks that were in there. It's not even an apostrophe.
Is everybody's database different?
Yeah, everybody's database is going to be different. Yep. I guess you can't. I mean, I thought you could. I thought you could create a new one. You said you gave one. All right, and then you should be able to run these commands once you've edited up the all those ticks. Remove all the little tick marks that you see in the schema that you were provided with. Okay. So there used to be a bunch of these little tick marks around, like fancy quotes.
Yeah, it's something like this.
Just remove those.
Heroku apps, rename, old one, dash app, new one. But I'm not typing it in correctly. It might just be cryptic base. I successfully did it recently. Yeah.
I'll dig into it.
All right, so if you've done that, did you launch the Heroku app then? I see you do a thumbs up. So okay, come on now. Come on now.
Wait, do we need to push to Heroku again after we do this?
push to get and then push to Heroku.
Why would you have to push again? Did you npm install?
I was just saying, oh, so we don't have to.
Did you change your code at all? We were just connecting to the remote database. We were connecting to JAWS DB on Heroku and creating tables and schema.
Well, yeah,
So-
we did change connection.js, didn't we?
I did.
Yeah.
You did change connect. Yeah, you have to change connection.js as well.
And the SQL.
What's that?
Oh, it's just the schema that we use. I think it's a good idea once you get a remember what they then and what the data things are.
Well, you know what? You can always take a look. You can always go in here, and I say on this side right here, I can say tables, and there's all characters, and there's my columns, and there's my schema right there.
But you have to click on 4 different things instead of opening the file.
Why would I?
Did you get it? Let me send you this. You're going to need to change out the stubs. But I'm going to put this.
Same for me.
Even after
Here, I'm going to give you a better starter, okay?
Yeah.
So I just put that SQL into Monday, Wednesday instructions.
Like it's updating, but it's updating 0 rows.
Well, that's the thing. It didn't create any rows.
The whole crew is
Yeah, you're not
Pretty columns.
You're not getting any seeds, right?
Yeah, we don't have any data in it, so it doesn't have any rows. So if you did get it running and you went to launch it on Heroku, you would see that it was just an empty Star Wars DB.
I'm still getting application error actually.
Oh, over on Heroku?
Yeah, even after pushing to master and re-pushing to Heroku. Well, wait, I did here.
You did hit the refresh button
I did.
next to schemas.
Yeah.
You didn't get any green at all.
No, I did.
That's my date.
It says use the database 0 rows affected, but it didn't create the database.
See, look, I finally got it right there. See,
I don't
create
care.
table. I got a green check next to it. ID.
Yeah, mine says, oh.
Make sure you change out the use and then replace that with your database.
Connection
Okay.
JS?
I'm sorry.
Did you change your line
So
26?
yeah, you have to say collaboration and then source
Okay. Well, I don't think we can spend more time on this.
I think it's actually ORC
Oh, I'm sorry.
because you're referencing that on.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Hey, there it is. Finally.
There's my old character.
Got it.
Got it.
I taken away the port from the connection.
Ah, the
Put
connection.
that- Put that back in.
Yes.
But then, as Lisa pointed out, in the MySQL workbench, you don't need the port there. Yeah, that's how it worked for me.
Yeah.
Well, the port it says 3306 to start. So yeah, you did change it.
Yeah.
But it's in there. If you edit the database connection, you'll see the port.
When I was trying to modify the settings,
Yeah,
whenever I
exactly.
actually hard coded it in my meeting and it failed.
Let me see if I can change this data to match my database.
Hey. All right.
There we go.
You got it?
Got
All right, so I'll go to sleep. You know what I was doing? I'm so dumb. I was using the wrong word, so no one
I noticed like when we do this stuff in class and we go so fast, I make one small error on step 2, and then I'm on step 10. And I'm like, you know,
All right.
we're kind of so fast.
Well, no wonder. I was using the wrong details. Had my other one open.
Oh
So let me see if this works. Yeah.
That's great.
Okay, cool. So then I'm going to update the connection string.
All caps in here, it's lowercase. Go with one or the other. Consistency. Definitely.
No, I just thought you meant done presentation.
So it's just broken.
Probably better than try to say.
All right, tech support.
Totally works. Everyone got working while you were gone.
They actually moved on to do something else now.
And it will never happen again.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I don't. What? Makes my life research.
Wait, why does your shit work?
Because I'm that good.
So what? All right. So what actually happened? Why did
When in doubt, restart.
So it's my sequel. You go around endorsing you and
Now you just ran
He believes in you, Randall. Okay, now push back to these lows. I'm sorry, Cecilia. It's not fine.
Do you want
It's not fine at all.
half a cupcake to ease your
That's
woe?
okay. Okay, yeah, been successful. Pressing. Woo woo. Launching. Boom. And there is deployed to Heroku Salty Dusk. Let's see if we can see some of that salty dusk.
This is a really good name.
Dusty Springfield.
No. Mine's just automatically pushed.
Sweet. And there it is. So there, in fact, is my my app that's running off of JAWS DB. Okay, so hopefully everyone got to this point. If you didn't, we will be deploying the lovely and talented and half here with us TAs in the back, and they're going to help you out. So don't let them just coast back there. All right. So that whole part was supposed to take 5 to 10 minutes, give or take.
Oh, guys, the hard part.
No. Okay, so the app is functional, and there's a way to make it work with our database with a lot less hassle. It might have taken a long time to learn all the things that were not correct in that, but we did. This week's going to be a tough one, okay? But this tool is going to make it much easier, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look at Sequelized, which I'm going to bring it up on here, and I'll send you the link as well.
Just 6. You're having an easier time than I am.
You didn't let him finish. 6-pack of wine. Double bottles. All right, so this is the site for Sequelized. All right. So I just put a link to Sequelized. Go ahead and check it out. So this is Sequelized, the Node.js, IO.js ORM with Postgres SQL, MySQL, SQLite, and MS SQL. Okay. Just explained it all to us, right? Okay, so Sequelized is a pre-made ORM. It simplifies its database queries and node applications. Yay! Allowing us to do complex data management with simple JavaScript methods. So just like the idea behind when we were building our own ORM, right? We're abstracting out the queries that we want to do. We're building them so that they can be kind of dynamic using JavaScript. So this is going to do the same thing for us, okay? The class today will focus on getting Sequelized set up on your machines and learning how to navigate a Sequelized project. What we're going to be doing for most of the rest of the class is converting this Star Wars app into a Sequelized app, okay? But first, a pop quiz.
Sure.
Okay. So, slack out the unsolved portion of 3 Sequelized intro. Okay, so this is a partner quiz, so you get to team up with one person.
So we're actually turning this in as a self-quiz sort of thing? Yes.
Jim, I noticed in
It's one of those kind of quizzes that's not integrated and not okay to not do.
One of my favorite
quizzes.
Yes.
I noticed in this directory, they're handling the post request through add.js instead of using method override. Like this seems much better than that stupid method override.
Yeah,
stuff.
there are ways to do it without method.
That's like hacking the HTML form basically, right? Yeah. Because we figured out that HTML form only takes post and get and post, right? Or post and put. There's
Post
only
and
two. Post and get.
HTML5 specifies
Okay.
post.
Okay.
Simple JavaScript.
Okay, so have we slacked out that quiz yet? You did? All right, so as 2-person teams, you will need to come up with the answers to the questions in the quiz. Use the Sequelized documentation. If needed, go to the usual suspect websites to get your answers, right? Stack Overflow. X-Hamster.
Whoa!
Don't go to that one. Don't go to that one.
Wow!
Don't go to that one.
Not until later.
Wow. Don't go to that one without a pop-up block. Yeah, no, they used to be hamsters. They were previously hamsters.
All right, you have 15 minutes to work on this quiz as partners. I expect it to be completely answered, 100% accuracy.
Just a Sequelized. My opinion is like a promise-based form for the.
Are you fixing it?
Yeah.
What is Sequelized?
Yeah, please, if you guys can identify some other pitfalls of this lesson, just heads up before I hit them. Speed bumps in my
This is somebody's voice.
rectum.
Wow. Just like kind of an overview.
What did you do?
Advantages of
The fold in that projector.
Yeah. I'll see one of my son's favorite
It's nice because it just spells out
songs.
one of the main advantages is it's easy to test.
Where are you?
Down here, what is Sequelized? And then down here, it's just another meaning.
Well, it would be a lot much better. Could be better. It could make it better.
I can make it better. So how would I improve like that 45-minute struggle we just had with like this team?
By coming up with the answer.
Yeah, you could have done that.
I think so.
Eager loading.
So it seems like it's just gonna give us a little nice package of easily executable commands that lets us talk to our database and make queries.
I like that they talk more about why it's easy to test. You can have two databases, one for test and one for development, so that you're not like pushing to the limit.
Okay, cool.
So, in your opinion, what the heck is a sequel? What can it do?
A team of one.
Army of one, man.
Good for you, you can test them.
You can join us.
I'm in the middle of this right now.
He doesn't want you guys holding him back.
Figuring it out.
Daddy, your daddy.
In the class?
Just, I thought just the woman who had kids, and she's actually taking it now. She just started again.
Oh,
She just deferred back. She had a bunch of things in her family, stuff that was beyond her control. The what? They're slamming it with like 65-hour weeks right now. Like barely make it here live.
I know, because like somebody.
Yeah, his shift is like still going right now. Oh yeah, I know. And he doesn't get to choose that stuff. It's like the routes are chosen for him. Yeah, exactly. No, it's brutal. I mean, I feel for him. Yeah, he's still part of the class. Yeah, we only had one person we only had one attrition, so that was good. And like I said, she just deferred to.
Yeah, well, not me. I'm taking full, so I'm here for the whole ride.
You know, it's just, some people screw up. They don't get, the best teacher of them all. This guy. Except tonight. Except tonight. All right, are we almost done with the quiz? Look, you're gonna wish that you do the Sequelized stuff better. Your first job is gonna be nothing but Sequelized. I've just called it. Brought down from the gods of program.
Like, you learned Sequelized? No, I said first.
Tell him to Sequelize.
Alright.
Have you seen the new Clash of the Titans? Or the newer?
Yeah. Oh my god.
be so great. Speaking of Liam Neeson, it's awesome as Zeus. Except for the fact that it's just like trooping with homoeroticism. Of course, it is a Greek thing, so.
Yeah.
It's like crazy. I'm coming up with my loincloth to yell at you. We're all sparkly, bare-chested, monoliths.
It's like, whoa, turn down a lens flare, guys.
Ray finds, I've got fiery pants. Release the Kraken.
Do you have a tracking? Did you release it?
We need to move on. We're not going to finish everything.
What's the deal with the class? Like this time, like you guys have like 20 minutes to talk about this. Like you're always kind of pushing.
Yeah, everything has a timeline.
Right. That's not really conducive.
Yeah, but it's conducive to getting the information out. So I mean, it's we try to balance it. I mean, I don't follow the times. So.
Yeah, right. I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying the portion itself is just like
I don't follow the times. Okie dokie. Holly says the quiz time's up.
Thanks, Holly. I wasn't really wanting to do it anyway. That was
Incorrect answer. So
but it's true.
let's take a look at the quiz itself and see if we were able to answer a quiz about something that we just found out about. Seems awesome to do to you guys. I was glad to be part of it. No problem. Okie dokie. So we have a bunch of questions and maybe some answers. Okay, so first question. What is Sequelized? Answer ORM. Easy peasy, right? That one's my question. Randall, what advantages does it offer?
We're gonna ask you one I didn't answer.
That's the second question.
Right, I skipped it.
Cecile.
It has good support for database synchronization, figure loading, associations, transactions, and migrations, and it's easy to test. You can have two databases, one for test and one for development environments.
That's right. And it also contains validation. It can restrict to specific forms of data. Okay. So even more fun there, right? We can restrict our data sources. What about the next question? Randall, how do I install it? How do I incorporate it into my apps?
You need to use NPM.
NPM, that's right. But what is the actual NPM command?
NPM install -c Sequelized.
Yes. All right.
See, I worked on it.
Ruben, what the heck is a Sequelized model and what role will it play?
That's the one I was actually looking at.
Usually,
it's
like the wizard.
So
What is a model?
represents
It's a
table.
It's a
and use a
representation.
database.
There you go. It's like you're reading it right from the answer thing. Did they give you the answer thing?
I didn't get them just like docs.
So, answer. Let's say I have the below table in MySQL. Okay, it's got stuff in it, and it has countries and their capitals, at least for now, until Trump's president. The world's going to change. All right, so how would I model this said table in Sequelized? Did anybody get this one correct? Anyone want to try? Sure. Took a stab in the dark?
Yeah, Sequelized.define example, and then like key value pairs of country, Sequelized.string, phone code, Sequelized.text or number, whatever, Sequelized.something.
Integer,
yeah. Capital Sequelized.text or string, and independence year, Sequelized.date.
Yep, that's exactly right. And then we're going to enter, and I'm just going to bring this over to the screen.
Fucking roll a natural 20 back here. Fuck you.
He's that good. It's that good.
Right, then I've got the ending class notes.
So there's exactly the part that Chance just told us about, where we said this variable table name equals Sequelized define table name, and then we break in our fields for said table, our columns, country, phone code, capital, independence year. Then we're running a little bit extra here, okay? So some stuff that you didn't cover. Freeze table name true. What? It means that model table name will be the same as the model name, okay? So it's just freezing that block in that table name. Very important. Table name sync, force true. Then function. And we are creating this table, return table name create, and we're adding in some data, right? So we're actually creating one record there, the one for Afghanistan. Phone code.
Why is the phone code hidden on?
Good question. I don't know what that means. I don't know.
What?
Good question. Google it.
That isn't in the phone code table.
Moving on.
It's supposed to be an integer.
Next question was, how would I query for all the records where the independence year was less than 50 years ago? Okay. Anyone want to try to take a shot at this one?
Dot find all.
Dot find all.
And then like you fill in the, I didn't get what the attributes were, but
Yep. So whatever the name is of the table or database table, find all. You got that correct. Then you're going to open up your bracket. Where, right?
Independence year is greater than.
Greater than?
66.
Is it greater than or less than?
That's greater than anything greater than 16. Perhaps return data set within the-
Take a look at this block right here, Michael. So, table name, find all, where, independence year equal less than or equal to 50?
whoa.
Oh, my God. Go ahead.
Is that sound returning your notation?
Yeah, it is. Although this notation is used in some other database type modeling software or other stuff like that. So you will see the LTE dollars or $sign LTE in some other software like Mongo. Okay, it's also used in Mongo. So
that's why.
Yep.
See what y'all are doing here.
That's right. So that would find anything that was 50 years from today's date, right? Makes sense?
And that is the built-in method of the Sequelized. That will just get the date by default whenever it knows that the independence year table has stores numbers that are date.
Yeah. Well, it's not date necessarily. It's just looking at 50, subtracting 50 from it.
How does it know to start from 2016?
It has a date to that. It's finding a starting point. I'll send you more information on it. We're about to look into all the methods anyway. And there's, if you want to look up the LTE. Okay. We'll make it through. Okay.
Doing great.
Power through.
Don't patronize me. Don't you dare patronize me. Okay, so how would I query the table? Order by descending independence years, then limit to the results to only show 2 records.
Skipping the first 2.
How would I do that? What? It's a mumblings.
Something that find all.
Something dot find all, offset of 2, Sequelized function max, Sequelized column, independence here, descending. Okay, so this syntax isn't instantly like understandable, but fortunately it follows a very standard set of ways of using it, and that's all documented quite heavily. Okay, and so we're going to be able to kind of work our way through writing these SQL queries pretty easily by using the documentation. Okay. Not only that, but there's a way that we can actually see what it renders out in SQL before we start running it. So there's a way to test it and see exactly what it extrapolates to when we add data into it. Okay, just like when we had our ORM last time, we would squawk out the actual statement in the console. So that'll help a lot with troubleshooting these things, because then we'll actually see what it renders out as SQL. Okay, there was a bonus question, and the bonus question was, what is umzug? And how would I use umzug to create a table? Well, umzug is a framework agnostic migration tool for Node.js, providing a clean API. All right, so var umzug, basically the same way we require everything in that we've been using require in Node already, and then setting it to a new umzug object. Then all we would have to do is run it, use one of its methods, whatever method we decide to use, and then have a callback that will then do something with that result. That's not actual syntax. That's just saying umzug dot one of the methods that umzug has. Okay. And we can always dig deeper into that on our own time because I don't think we're actually going to be using umzug today. So I don't know why it was included on there, just to kind of give you a preview of some of the other things that are.
Yeah, why not?
Because we're not migrating anything. We're not migrating anything. I told you not to go to X Hamster. All right. So let's move on, please. Please, Jim, please. There's no turning back.
Thank you, sir.
It's like that part of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory where they get in that damn boat. Exactly. I do want to take a break, actually. Thank you for asking me. So let's go ahead and take a break because Lisa wants to.
I got to say about this.
You might be out.
I'm gonna go get a beer.
Where?
You only have 15 minutes. We've done it before.
It's a beer Walmart. Where's that? Who?
Those boxes.
Oh.
Thanks, man. I'm good. You know, I was excited for this. Saw how they lost the goal. I'm not excited about it. Wait for it.
Yeah. It doesn't seem. I don't know. I tried changing my setting. How do you have your settings? You see, that's how I have mine. I don't understand why that.
Yeah, I'll pick up all of them.
Yeah.
Chances from what I hear.
Chance?
Mhm.
Who is it? It's so sweet. Yeah. Just waiting for you to shoot. Oh, yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, I don't understand. It's, you fixed it. I don't understand. I think it's when it's at the big screen. Yeah, once it's at a big screen, that's the rain. Mm-hmm. No, but you're gonna have one. What you got? 45 rounds. I don't know. It's doing it now. Not work. When you get pushed, you always push towards the next turn. You always push. You always get pushed. I do it like that. You do it, or it's just like that contributes. I'm not that. It's important. Man. I heard someone else. I think Michael was saying something the same thing. Yeah, I heard him saying that. No, he was telling David, because David has the same issue. That's crazy.
Huh?
No, man.
Because I'm so crazy, dude.
That's somebody's gonna shoot us.
You get ready to attack.
getting ready to jump under the table.
You couldn't disclose it, man. You're really lucky.
I'm doing my laptop.
You know, hunt down Pokemon, man. What the hell?
You're playing that?
No, I was about to say, man.
Shit,
It's not worth it. Though. You're really comfortable.
yeah, it's already do the Katamon exactly. Take pointless now.
Does it keep renewing them?
What do you call the ones you can catch in the US? Some guy.
Oh, so yeah.
Can they migrate? Or
So that's weird because there's some like you could only get out of the country. And I'm just like, that's just.
Other people on an airplane?
Yeah. Some people might actually get on there.
Cross-examination is not native. And then start coming out other Pokemon.
I know, right?
Invasive species.
This is due 8:01, so that's due on Friday. So that's amazing. Company targets. Facebook.
Can you tell if I look in there?
Come master.
How's Cupcake? Cupcake good?
Sweet. Sweet. Good.
With the baby getting one now. Shit.
She'd have to.
No, I'm good. Shit with that stuff.
That's pretty much all sugar.
It's bad.
Yeah. I don't care. You got gummy bears, dude. Think I care? Corn syrup. No sugar there.
I made your
So sugar.
you're getting a whole sugar rush with it. You're getting high on sugar. Dinner? Did you even do dinner for
That's my dinner right here, dude.
Oh, it's
All sugar.
horrible.
Boy, that's what 5-year-olds eat.
For mine, that was the same, so I had popcorn chicken, Sonic.
Ooh, that might be worse than this.
And this, I think, yeah. It's grease and sugar combined.
That's been a long time since I've done that. Cherry limeade, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, vodka.
It's gonna taste so sweet.
You want some gummy bears to put on that muffin?
Gummy bears? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh.
Actually, I need to put gummy bear on each.
Why do you have 4 of those?
Huh?
That's my question. Why did you get 4?
What's the dinner? The cupcake, gummy bear.
See, I don't
Gummy
know.
bears,
It
chance
just-
cupcakes.
and,
There it is.
I think it just takes them. It just takes them.
Huh?
It takes months. I remember, so he was huge.
I bet. Dude, they're good. You get one. No, you won't.
I do want one, but
You like one of those diet freaks? You eating only vegetables? You eat only like grilled and steamed chicken
I wish I could do that.
and vegetables? No fried food?
I wish, man.
Oh,
I don't have
well,
that. Already has it.
Yeah. see my childhood. Yeah, you know, probably. If I would get lung cancer first, that or who knows what else from all the plastics and the EPA. There's Monsanto and GMOs. Pesticides.
Some of us sooner than.
Oh, fried food. You know, man, they're really taking us out. Can't avoid it at this point. I give up. You know what the government puts in the water?
Oh, yeah.
They put it up filter.
Oh, yeah. Goes out back.
Oh gosh, geez. Trying. He's like the extra.
Howdy.
Satisfied with you and the good escaping and the kick pushing.
With the steel one of.
Maybe they like shit all these.
Yeah, he liked it all. I had family in town, so I was
Like
going to concerts and
tomorrow I should return. I have pizza.
those right now.
Yo, I had the best restaurant I've ever had.
Where?
Well, have you ever been to Swiss House in Birmingham?
Yeah, that place is good.
Yeah, so good. And I got the breakfast tacos. I mean, I've already had the breakfast. I go in there so much that the guys like already know me.
Are you at the fritas?
Oh, yeah, fritas? Yeah.
Good.
Now, okay, my friend wants that hook me up. He made fritas, but he puts their pulled pork on top. And he put some of the ham on soup, the salsa verde. He put it all together. And he hooked me up that way. He's like, I'm gonna make you this. It's amazing. Truman. Super good. That guy always is hooking me up. One time he gave me a free pancake. Just one pancake.
Just one pancake.
The chocolate chip pancake.
I never had the pancake.
Bro, that chocolate chip pancake changed my life. That's why I say that it's better. Like I used to think that Cracker Barrel was the all-time best pancake you can find. But then you go to Honey Ham. It changes.
It's always packed.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not bad now since school's out. But typically it is packed all the time. That's why now I just call in my order before I get there. Just when I get there, I start eating.
But even the mac and cheese is good.
Oh yeah,
Some cheese like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Everything.
Why is my mom not?
That's right. My nice girl would tell me about but she never want to spend it. I think I love you.
You should put some music on during breaks.
Do things that you want to do. I'm about to do it like control.
Just do it.
Control. Well, Spotify will open.
I request all the way.
You request all the way out.
Dude, what party I told you about?
Oh, how
My
did
friends got lost.
No, what?
Like, we like dog play like just rocks. Like I got like he swam to another boat and definitely. I don't
He
know.
swam to another boat.
And he ended up like talking to someone and he's just stayed in that boat.
What the hell?
You know.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's all I think about.
Yeah, sorry.
I was just talking to you, like, I wanted a cookie, but I'm like, I'm finding.
Okay, an error occurred in the application page cannot be served. If you are the application owner, which I am, check yo. Shit.
Where you get that?
Just feeling on the universe.
Walmart pizza?
You've been? I want to. So bad. Hey, someone watch over my first and get to it.
Pizza's healthy, man.
If something happens to me, this my armor cannot take any more beating.
Unhealthy.
App crashed. You crashed. Dude, and then the guy, one of the guys that we had like this guy just like helping a captain around. He was like this big ass guy, and his name was Tiny. And then one of my friends was like smoking, just talking like the normal cigarette. And the guy's like, "Oh, you guys cannot smoke here in the bowl." And I don't know what. I'm not even kidding. Like by the time we were leaving, the guy was like drinking tequila, smoking weed. Like in the car, like taking pictures of like everyone. We just hashtag them time. Just hush. Dude, I don't know why. Please include the following files. When we first started. Oh, Pedro sent me some music. Oh shit.
JB's gonna be mad at
Put that one, James.
I did.
You can put one in. Yeah. I would never mind. Hey, gang. I need to plug in this there and keep doing that deal over here. This thing. Tying up that, it's to the dilly dally. So we might go to the main side here. Colorado player. We're going to Colorado player. I live right there. Literally so hard. It's in my neighborhood. It doesn't even come. Unbelievable. Where did that place open up like the second of this month? Yeah, I'm surprised, man. Like I was shocked that it looked like that. I mean, I checked out Kung Fu and I checked out PBS this weekend. That's pretty fun. Like I'd like Kung Fu a lot. Yeah, I love going to Kung Fu. Or at least the one in Western. No, but the one up here is just like the same thing. Yeah, just like that, but it's just not as good. And they're not that. I mean, they're not crazy strict on the dress code. The rules from places strict as well. Oh well, yeah, that makes sense because it's a club.
Hey, dude. Yeah, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Birthday.
Yeah, my wife made it. We can't eat all these. I'm good. Yeah. Happy birthday. Thank you. Is it really 28?
Oh, man.
Here. Yeah, and the regularly received. Yeah.
Up there.
You could hear him. Zoo is saying those words at the very end. This actual season is
Well, I wonder where.
We started. It was the Good.
They are.
Jesus Christ, 15 killed a knife attack in Japan. That's not about that. 19 people, like 45 injured.
Some committed, some.
If a knife attack.
I mean, so like, committed.
I mean, assault
something
knives.
happening, I mean, hey, James.
Yeah.
So it's not something.
Ban
yeah,
assault.
like it's something that you're-
No one needs a knife.
you're looking at machines, you know?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm
Just
a
do
scoot user of knives.
and being
First thing I'll
disciplined
do
from this. So. I'll have to, I've never seen this, so I have to go really real quick.
I mean, the K-Bars are good, but you can't shoot someone with it. Gotcha.
You think the possible ones yeah.
No, you're a shark. So that's a CO2 part. Stab it.
You got CO2. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that they got posted on topic? Watch that at $20.
Too bad.
And never go to the other again.
I'm still restoring industrial.
Oh, it is like down to it's up to 80. Let me try again. But edit that.
Oh, yeah, I do my accent all the time, I'll do that.
So then if you scroll down. Yeah, or, yeah, but I don't remember what the Jaws.
Alright, try to do that again.
Even if there's something you can do right now locally, they might be able to have it so you can recover earlier and get the next timeline also. They should also say that's how it is. There's nothing like supervision right now, it's like notification for this grand scheme of things. Yeah, trying to email them. And they usually re-respond during work hours. So they might have like around the clock start, but sure. Yeah, try with them. And, you know, like, it's like what I got, I mean, like 1 or 2 times. But they're getting over it. So cool. Or used to be. It's a little bit more like, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the
purple is one of my favorites.
Which ones are they?
No, I don't like this. So.
That's number one. They just take longer by nature. So
because of their.
It's just pull up your YouTube page and once you get there, run it, see if it runs. Doesn't run, figure out why it doesn't run, keys or stuff, install your own keys, install your packages and install those and see what comes down the tree. It's like, you know, it's a lot of work to even run your own.
Hey, yes. Hey, did you want to?
Yeah, for the your code.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Are you going
your
for
code
the
doesn't have any errors.
Sunday as well?
here.
Is it like an offline?
Yeah, it's like a 6-part series.
You can use it as an inspector. Everything's right there for you. Get that route
Okay.
done.
What's the
The
time?
only other benefit would be making
The
changes to your
one
code, I
on
guess.
Sunday was from 2 to 4.
I came
No,
upstairs,
no,
it's like you're there.
I didn't go to the first one, so I don't know. If that, or I think that's the system. Okay. I think the location. Okay.
So yeah, these ones are much easier than these ones. It's weird. Everyone has those. I don't know what it is. This is weird bug going around your code where it's not so much showing up. Yeah.
It was in like
What is going on?
But
Oh,
yeah, which is fine. She's just like, if you can find me through all the things. Yeah. She's like, you can figure out what we're trying to do.
Can be. I think it costs a little more for that.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I'll let you know.
Be free, Jim. Be free. Run away, you stupid horse. What's final evolution of your code? Horns. Yeah, they need horns.
This one that's failing right here. This largest.
Yeah, we plow.
So you can see exactly.
KMFDM sucks. All right, cool. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna install Sequelized and we're gonna install the Sequelized CLI. Does anybody remember what a CLI is?
Command line interface.
Matrixy stuff. That's what boss would say. My former boss.
Type WMIC on your command line.
All right, so we're gonna slag out 4-Sequelized demo. And we're gonna see what we got.
Was that mine? I only got 3. What? No, it's not me, man. No, sir. Really? That's not hear anything. Right here.
Okay, so we're going to go down to the skeleton that you were given, this 4-Sequelized demo. So to do so, we would find our directory where we have it. Skeleton. That's the wrong one. There it is. So go ahead and go to this directory in your terminal. All right. First thing we want to do is we want to run npm space install space -- save Sequelized. Okay. It worked? You're faster than me.
Error.
I should start working. Yes.
No, I'm saying that. I fixed
No.
I thought that was an error. I thought that was the solution. And God,
That's what I was going to do. I just want to make sure that that was kind of unnecessary. Yeah, this entire lesson has some oddities. Okay. So once we've done that, yeah, that's all that does is say, hey, go ahead and add Sequelized to that package.json file that I know and love so well.
Oh.
Could you repeat that line?
Yep, it's right here. Where it says npm install -- save Sequelize. Now I know if anybody in here is British. Is anyone in here British? Okay. Those limey bastards. They want to call it Sequelize with an S. But don't spell it like that. We're American. Or some of us are.
That's not my favorite.
Some of us are not.
Thing with a U.
But we're here and we're enjoying our time here, right?
Well, we still have more.
Yeah.
Picked up a whole other language. You came to America to learn Chinese.
Technically, you are correct.
Natural choice. Did you go and do an immersive thing? You did though, right?
What?
You went in on an immersive thing
Yeah,
to
immersive
Beijing or whatever.
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool. I heard it's very polluted in China. Okay, cool. Once we've run those commands, we should be able to start doing other things like npm install, and this time we're going to say -g. Does anybody remember what -g does? Globally install. Woo! And we're going to say Sequelize -CLI. And what that's going to do is it's going to go ahead and install the Sequelize command line interface, which is where the true power of Sequelize lies.
Specified. Pretty annoying, man.
What?
Did anybody else get where command is on? Specified config on the welcome to our help.
I did not get all that.
There we go. Installed. All right, if you're having a problem with that command, you can try sudo npm install -g Sequelize -CLI. But did anybody actually have an issue with that? I mean, it's probably squawks some warnings and whatever you see it doing stuff like that here, but it installs. Okay, cool. Next thing to do is to npm install -g, I guess, MySQL.
Did we already have that installed globally?
Huh?
I did not add it.
I did not.
I was wondering whether or not we
In the past, we haven't installed it globally, so you might not have it installed globally. Okay, everybody finish that step as well, right? Okay, so basically all we need is we're saying we need to install MySQL globally in order to use all of the Sequelize CLI commands. So because the CLI is installed globally, we need to now have MySQL installed globally. So that's the reason why we did it just now for the first time today. Okay, makes sense? All right, so the next thing we need to do is we need to run a command that will tell us whether Sequelize is installed or not. So all we have to do that is type Sequelize in the command line. And so if things happen correctly, you should see, see something like this. Something like this. Sequelize ROM, blah, 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 blah. And it's basically saying, hey, here's how you use the Sequelize CLI. It's giving you the kind of syntax for using it. Okay. Awesome. Well, if you saw stuff like that, similar to what you see on my screen, then you do have it installed, okay? So if it didn't install correctly and you're not getting something like this returning, go ahead and let us know, and we'll have a TA help you out with that. Okay. So after we've entered those commands and we have to run Sequelize init in the root of our directory. Okay. So where we are already, I'm already in the root here. I'm going to go ahead and run Sequelize init.
Revalidating native modules. It's happening.
Look at that. So what do we see that it did there? What is it telling us that it created? This config.json. So what was in our config file originally? What did we have in our config file already in our project that we're working with just now? Connection.js, and we also had orm.js. So what do you think this file here does? Replaces it, right? So now instead of having a JS file with our connection details, we have a JSON file with our connection details. Okay? So everybody was able to get through those steps, right? Awesome. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to turn the skeleton into a Sequelized app. Okay. Like I said, we did just talk about that the Sequelized init command did create some new files. Okay. The people who made this program developed the command line interface to make it a cinch to start and convert projects to Sequelize. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look at this config.json file that it created. We'll go to here. We'll go to config, and there's config.json. So we'll go ahead and open it with Sublime here. And let's take a look at this guy. Okay, so it looks very similar to what we had within our object, right? Remember we made a source object and we had source.jawsdb, right? Okay, so this is very similar to that. So it's kind of replacing the way we used to do this connection string.
3 environments.
3 environments. You should always have 3 environments, at least. Right, Holly? No?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah, yes. They should have 3 environments. They should all be in sync.
So let's go ahead and enter your old connection info into this new file, okay? So we had the connection info that we were using for the JAWSDB. So let's get that over in here. And let's get the local stuff in here as well, okay? So put your local connection in. What? You got a few minutes to do that. So use your time wisely. And I will also update this thing. Nope, you cannot just copy and paste. You can kinda, yeah, you're right. You can. You can kinda. Kinda.
Do it legally. I did it. I need to start it over. I did. I just deleted everything and started over. This guy. Now, how much was I saving in your message when you don't even believe in me? The only thing. I think it's going to be good choice. Sorry. Sure. Run it that too. My way. I'm not working automatic. That's the way I had to deploy manually, but just doing that. Yeah, when we do that, I've been on file. Do it after
Oh, shit. That's what I'm supposed to do.
Yes, that's right.
Maybe that's not the right information. Is it?
I'm gonna send you my connect.js.
What would we consider the test environment or
Production. That would be considered production.
So are you updating this in development?
Yeah, I'm in,
Because I just added it as a fourth environment. Is there anything wrong with that?
No, there's
So I
not.
have development, test, production, JAWS DB.
No, put it as the production.
Put it as, as production?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's gonna send you like everything
I don't know where it's for.
He's gonna send you
Production, host. This one.
Production is the Heroku.
Yeah, production is Heroku.
I think where I was screwing up jobs that didn't capitalize. You have to do that. You capitalize. Yeah, I made it capitalize jobs.
I like this.
Yeah.
Should be pretty quick to repair that. So is you think that based on just basing it stuff on port 3.0.6, I guess just default.
What it created for you is kind of generic. Yeah, it's like here is it wanted to create the structure for you, but the details are all just generic. You got to go in there and
You have to have the ports.
yeah, you do get that. If the port was different, you'd have to have the port. The port number, no, you don't have to add port actually.
That's all, yeah, so it's configured, is you just
Yeah.
defaulting.
Yeah, no, you don't have to add port.
Question.
Sure.
Is it a good idea to have a different database for development and test environments, or would you use production data for all three?
Yeah, no, it is good to have a production and a development
You should have a
database.
database for every, so you have a development.
Each one should be a complete environment. Is what it should be.
And then they should all be.
I rewired the thing to run off the JAWS database we created earlier. I just didn't know if I wanted to comment to all three or.
No, production.
Okay, and the rest is just the original root. No.
Yeah, that's the local. Local would be development. Stage would be
That's what I thought. I just wanted to
We don't
confirm.
have.
GitHub pages or something.
We don't have a test.
Yeah, there's not a test and stage is what I call it stage, but staging. Okay.
Everything else.
There's only one thing to do at the end of this once we've added our connection details, and on the production one, which is our JAWS DB one, I'm going to add another comma after dialect, and I'm going to enter a new line, and I'm going to say use envelope env variable. Okay, and colon space, and we're going to put capital database underscore URL. Wait, no.
Missing me.
Hang on a second, guys. We gotta look up some.
Yeah. What's the line of production?
The use in variables.
Don't forget they're supposed to say that.
I've been on this one for almost 3 hours. Have you been able to define the
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yes or no.
Second question. So use environment variable database URL. Okay. No, this line is really just to add it to run migrations, which we're not going to actually do in this class. But when we do need to run a migration, that's what that that variable is actually for that we're adding right there. Okay. All right. So go back to command line now that we've done that and saved it. Okay. So let's go back to the command line now and make sure we're in the actual correct directory. Here we go. And at the root directory of our project, we can run a command. Okay, so we're going to enter a command in the terminal, and then we're going to see what it does. So we're going to start with the Sequelized to initiate the CLI. Sequelized space model colon create, no space there, space dash dash name characters. Space dash dash attributes. So another space, single quote, route name, and that's camel notation. So capital N in that, route name, colon string, space name, colon string, lowercase that time. Nope. Sting?
Sting.
I know. I've been watching too much Dune.
I was hoping you would go there.
Don't go.
The sleeper has awoken.
Bring me the floating fat man.
It's so good.
That's a great movie. I don't know why my wife hates it, but apparently she hates it. Role string or name. Oh, sorry. Route name string. Name string, and then one more role colon string, and then comma age colon integer, comma force points, and that's force points.
Is supposed to be a comma after everything?
We will find out in just a second. I think you're probably onto something there. Ooh, the qualities. Quality of this one.
Imagine being removed today.
Oh wait, the first print there.
Looks like it did it.
Unable to resolve.
So let's go see if this created the correct model. So if you run this command, the next thing that you can do is you can go into model/character.js. So let's bring that up. Yep. Star jams. Into my 50.1.
Sorry, I misspelled something and it was right. That's cool.
Well, yeah, it's gonna make it. I mean.
I spelled Andrew.
Well, look at that.
Where is that?
It's under model.
It's under your root models character JS is where we can pull that up.
Oh, that's that.
So if we look at this file that it created for us, this character.js, we can see that it's actually created line by line the schema and property by property, okay? So if we look at it, we can see that it's using module export and it's exporting this function, okay? And it's saying variable characters equals Sequelized defined characters. And then it's defining out our actual columns, route name, role, age, force points, okay? Then it's giving us a method. Okay, so it's associating it back to our models. And any other associations we want to add will come after that, okay? And then finally, it's returning characters so that we can use it in our other files, okay? Module exports wrapping up the characters object and sending it along to wherever it needs to go.
You just like this dude?
So the model, where does it get exported? Well, it gets exported to index.js, also located in the same folder, the models folder. So if we go back to our folder, we can open up index.js. Okay.
So wait, is it the use strict at the top that relates to this two things?
No, use strict is basically just saying this is going to be strictly, well formatted JavaScript. It's basically saying that it's using a type of JavaScript that should be able to run through a linter or some sort of code check. So if we roll down, you'll see a line that just says FS on its own.
Yes.
Okay, so this code finds every file in the models directory and uses Sequelized import method to instantiate the models and their class methods. Okay, it's auto-generated. This was auto-generated by the CLI. So I think we all kind of knew that already, but I just want to make sure that we know. So.
Yeah. Okay.
So basically, let's go ahead and run through this. Let's wrap this. Word wrap. Okay. So starting from the top, basically it's saying read directory sync, go to our current working directory. Okay, that's what that line's doing. All right. Then it's coming into this filter. All right. Basically it's saying filter out everything after the .js. Don't include anything with a period. Okay, so it excludes directories, as well as a base name file, index.js. So it's basically building our JS file, okay? Under that, we have a for each right here on line 22, okay? This saves a model to our database object for each unfiltered file, okay? So it's just running through the files that it finds and creating a database object for each one, okay? If we scroll up from here, and we get to the line that says var env. Where's that at? Where's my var env?
Line 7.
Oh, at the top 7.
7. There we go. Sorry. My eyes bother me. So if we look at line 7, sorry, it's creating this. It's determining the project environment. So either set by the server Heroku, or it's the development one. So in this case, we have development set, okay? Send our new env to our config.json, okay, to determine which connection to use. That's what the next line is doing. So if we look at config, it's actually building out the directory and sending it along, sending that information along to that JSON file that we need, okay? Below that, we have a conditional here, line 11 through 15. All this conditional is doing is it's basically setting up the actual connection. So it's saying if the config.use environment variable, which we set, variable Sequelized, go ahead and do this. Otherwise, run the standard configs here. Okay, config database, username, password, and config. Okay, so a lot of this is going to be boilerplate code that gets, as we saw, generated automatically when we use these tools, which is a good news kind of thing. But it's important to kind of understand a little bit of this, okay? So how do we use what index.js is setting up for us? How do we use the stuff that's here? Come on, man, take a shot in the dark.
No, I'm not good. Well, natural coding.
No,
Just thinking of like a required.
Right, required, yeah, exactly. So where do you think it's going to be drawn in? Where are we drawing this stuff in to actually use it? Where have we always been drawing stuff in to actually use it?
Routes.
Node. What do we do? Node what?
The server file.
Server, right, exactly. So let's roll over to server, and everyone go ahead and open this up. And we're going to enter some lines into this, okay? So let's open up server.js.
That's Trump and Putin.
So what does it say at the top here? To do steps to sequelize the Star Wars app. Delete the RM from config. We don't need to do that yet.
Yeah.
Okay. In character.js, model out the character table in the schema SQL file located in the root. Okay, so we already did that too, right? Character.js is modeling the character, right? Okay. So let's see what we can do here. Let's drop down to line number 27. Okay. This nice blank area that we see here under line 27. All right. Now what we need to do is we need to add the character model and sync it. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to sync the model, and this will create a matching table in our MySQL database. Okay. So we're going to enter var character, and that's capitalized, equals require. All right, we know the syntax, right? / models. Okay, and then outside of it, bracket character. Quote character. Okay. Next line, we're going to say character.sync. Friends, semicolon.
I think that for the required,
I know, it needs a semicolon.
I picture saying you're missing an I, you just misspelled.
Which one is it?
Yeah.
Oh. Cool. All right, so do I need to select this out, or can everyone see this on the screen?
Could you explain a little bit what the bracket notation characters do?
Basically what it's doing is it's saying, what do I need to require from models? And if you go back to the actual index.js, you'll see that, I'm sorry, not index.js, characters.js. See how it says return characters? And so that's basically what we're doing, is we're grabbing this file that's being set out here.
Okay.
We can name it whatever we want because it's the data that's there. So that's what doesn't make that something.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's basically going to create the character table when we sync it. So we're bringing it in, and then we're running that sync, which is going to go out and create that database over in Heroku or whatever environment we have set to our environment in our actual.
I just don't think we've ever seen that bracket notation after a require statement like that.
True, but it's directly related to making sure that you match the table, and so it's basically matching the table there.
Okay.
Okay, so this will bring in the character model into our server file. So Node will select the index.js file by default when a directory is required. Since our index.js exports an object that includes this model, we can require the directory to grab the model. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little more info to this, so the info about it, because this is somewhat confusing, I'd say. So I'm going to send a deeper dive for everybody. Get that out. One second, guys. Oh, shit. Okay, select this out to everybody. Where did my link go? Where's my link? Where's my link? Where is it? Here it is. Okay, let's see right here. All right, so I'm going to include this in the Slack. Okay, so we add in that placing character in brackets. It lets us choose the character model rather than having to type object name dot character every time we want to use the model. Okay. Lastly, like I said, the character dot sync is probably one of the best features that Sequelized gives us. Okay. Remember how we had to make the JAWS DB table in our database client before the site would work? We basically did all that with this model.sync method. It will take the model and create the table for it in MySQL automatically. Okay, so simpler.
There's just so much going on.
There's a lot going on
behind the curtain, you know.
Yes. Sequelized is going to be a couple days, so we're going to go through it on Wednesday again. Saturday, we're all going to have a deeper understanding of it. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at another part of this application, all right? So if we go into our config file, our config directory, I should say, and we take a look at orm.js, okay? So I'm going to open up orm.js. And then we could also take a look at API routes.js over in routes under the root directory. Open that one up as well. Okay, API routes.js. View word wrap. Okay.
All right.
So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be getting rid of this ORM file that we had, this ORM.js. That's kind of a holdover from when we were building our own ORM, right? Well, we're not going to do that just yet. The next thing you're going to do is to call Sequelized methods inside of this API routes.js file here, okay? So we have this page of API modeling that is given to us by Sequelized. I'm going to share that in the same channel where I just shared the other link. Okay, so I'm sharing this now. And so this is going to give us some information on how to use the API model. Okay. So let's go ahead and open up this page. So this is the model object. The model represents a table in the database, okay? What we need to do is we need to find the right methods here in this page to get and post data. And we already have one route that's been solved for us here. So if we go back to our routes.api,